the state. So that's what she asked me to check, is just for some really big glaring errors.
And kept that, but I didn't read it word to word, it just glanced.
Yeah, and that would have jumped out, I think.
Ready to roll?
Okay, yeah.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, everyone. Call order the meeting, first meeting, August 17th, 2015. We'll start off with public comment, update, so on. Is there any public comment?
I got a question. Has there been any thing on the compost that they got going up to the places to put it?
The what?
The compost that they making up to the,
Oh, up there at the landfill. And what's your question, is there any?
has it been around that it can be used?
Oh, that people can get it? I don't know
I don't know.
if ever been
Yes.
publicly noticed or not.
Because it was a lot up there, I don't know if there still is or not. And then, like when they get the gravel all out of their pit down there by Toston, maybe they put some of it in there. Fill the pit back up. Just an idea.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I don't know.
If you need any compost, it's totally available to the
I know.
public, free of charge, so,
But
yeah.
a lot of people don't realize it's even there.
Yeah, Brian's done a Facebook page, it's on the website, he's done articles. So, yeah, hopefully that word will spread. It's just not quite as exciting news, so it doesn't probably make the coffee clutch like some of the other stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's trying to get the word out. So if you share that with any of your neighbors and friends, that would really help.
Thanks, Joe. Any other comments? I'll move on.
Just good morning. Good night.
Good luck.
Montana Minute, community update.
Well, I will offer a Montana Minute. Kudos to our firefighters, our partners, our staff, for the hours and hours and hours they gave this weekend to fighting the fire on the south end, and then also to our partners in Clark County for coming in on Saturday to fight the Gurney Creek fire. We're very, very lucky that such a huge fire as the Eustis fire didn't cause more damage. I understand it's the second biggest in Montana,
That was
So-
on the news.
just huge kudos.
I have to second everything you said, because, and Lewis and Clark is not gonna charge us for their help and their manpower, which I thought was wonderful. Because they came in with a couple deputies and then some firefighters too, so. And it's nice to watch them all work together. I mean, everybody has their own thing and they know what they have to do, but then they just all come together and mesh together really well and do their thing.
Yeah. Should have asked Mike this morning, I guess, if he had a report on that Gurney Creek fire.
I do.
Oh, do you? Okay.
It's 100% contained.
Okay.
It's not out, but it's 100% contained.
I heard this, they had it pretty well contained.
Yeah.
Okay. That could have been bad there.
My cows were getting nervous.
Was that lightning or?
Yeah. And they figured it had been smoldering for a few days.
Mhm.
And and then with all the smoke, nobody could see it.
Mhm.
Well, then, guess what,
That's what I heard, there was a guy living right up by there, he didn't know anything was going on till I went over the ridge, and all the fire trucks were there and everything. Because the smoke, you just, was all over actually, yeah. Not much visibility at all, but. Yeah, that was the biggest thing, I guess, is working with this firefighting team for the DNRC, which been doing a real good job. We got a fire camp set up there by Toston.
It was kinda sad watching our boys come in with the big trailers and start loading up four-wheelers to move cows, throwing in shovels and,
Mm-hmm. You didn't actually have to move anything, did you?
did not. By the grace of God, we were very blessed and we didn't have to move anything.
On that fire down there, Holbrook said, move those out from the fire, they got into a field that was pretty well protected, had plowed around it and everything, so. I don't know how long they held them there, I think they kicked them back up, but I'm not sure.
Tom Huth and his wife did a plow around that fire. And I think it's about 12 feet wide. They took two pieces of equipment and ran it
Mm-hmm.
and contained that fire. So again, the Huth family saved the hill,
Mm-hmm.
as they've done so many times.
Yeah, that one over there, where it started coming to the north there, they had two big tractors and discs in there going, I think one was Rod Hughes and I think Howard Hence's was the other, I'm not sure how
I just think we're very grateful where we live and all the people that help so much, no matter what it is, how big or how little.
Yeah, we're definitely very lucky.
Mm.
Some other things that happened this week, there was a bridge realignment meeting and tour for the Toston, the big bridge. Hospital District Board meeting and Airport Board were both at the same time last week, so that was a tough juggle, but I made it to both. And then the fires really took up Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, so.
There's lots of meetings.
Yeah, yeah. But very good meetings. I was really grateful for them and again for partners.
What did they say about the Toston Bridge?
The new bridge path is not gonna be that much different than the current one. They're gonna overlay for a portion of it just slightly to the south, and then they're going to go into DeMartins and Lambert's Field, and then come out and marry up with the highway. There'll be some changes to elevation. Of course, it'll be 4 lanes. And they're targeting 2016 to get started, depending on how everything works as far as acquiring the right of way and so forth. So,
You know, I was to the fire meeting down at Three Forks last night, and coming back, you could put your car on cruise and come the whole way with all those, I mean, it's just like an interstate.
yeah, yeah.
It is wonderful.
Yeah, I attended that with the state, that Toston Bridge meeting. I believe that was on Thursday. At the Toston Fire Hall.
Mhm.
Anything else, I guess you could hit some mail here.
It is 10:15, Chairman.
Okay. We have hospital district to be here 10:15, I guess. Are they coming? You're representing, okay,
The two of us are both hospital district board members.
okay. Well,
I'm Jan Huber, and I'm the vice chair of the hospital district board, and this is Barb Kirscher, she also serves on the board.
Now is Kyle coming?
Not to the best of my knowledge.
go ahead, you have the floor. You want to come up here, or do you want to stay where you're at?
Our presence was requested. I didn't come with a prepared statement. We prepared a letter to be included in your packet, so.
Franklin, you have a copy of the letter that was sent to the Hospital District Board requesting this meeting. I just gave you a bunch of handouts.
Where's this?
There should have been a letter also that was delivered up here on Friday requesting that you levy the full amount of mills available to us and the, including the mill levy.
You should have that in the mail too, Franklin.
This is from Corey here, I think, isn't it? This is the only thing that's in the mail here, is this, if the hospital district can get an air cap loan.
Franklin, that's the pile I just gave you, just not even 5 minutes ago. In our mail should be the letter from the Hospital District Board that was delivered on Friday. That'd be a good place to start our meeting. Or you could start with the letter we sent the Hospital District Board, either one.
That's the one from Corey.
No, it isn't.
Well, I
It
don't
was
have
sent
it.
by the commissioners, Franklin.
I don't have any of that.
Is it in your other pile over there or in your briefcase?
I'm trying to look at it, no. I know it isn't there, no.
Well, maybe you should go down and ask, double check our mail and.
Well, I just brought up everything that was in the mailbox.
Do you want me to go down? I think it was delivered to Debbie, maybe? I can call Missy and see where she left it.
I think she usually puts it in our box.
She does put it in our box and then it's collected by the chairman Monday morning.
Okay.
So maybe you should go
This is-
check with Debbie Franklin.
There's nothing here.
No, it's your call, you're the chairman.
This is the one from Corey. That's not the one you're talking about.
No.
This is the, this one. This is right here. No, this from Corey also.
Maybe you better check with Debbie and see if she knows.
I guess you can. When was it sent?
It was delivered up here on Friday.
To Debbie.
I can call Missy Cox and find out. She's our clerk and she's the one that brought it up here.
Okay, well, I'll head on down and see if, maybe one more quick check. I did.
Okay, if you'd like me, I can call Missy and see. But when I spoke to her on Friday, when we discussed the letter, she was gonna bring it right up here.
One more check. There wasn't no either one. I can go around and check with Debbie, see.
I have mine on whatever, but for this purpose, I think it may not be disrupting anything.
That was a memo sent by Corey to the Hospital District Board and to the three of us. And basically what it does is spell out what his advice is, his legal knowledge or opinions on different aspects of the different options that we have, specifically in dealing with how to make sure that the levy situation is corrected. It's per this memo that we're having this meeting today with the Hospital District Board.
Okay, you know, if I give it to Debbie, I'm up here at the, I have it, when you give it to Debbie.
It's probably in the paper.
Okay, well, he's going down to see her right now, so, thank you. All right, bye-bye. She gave it to Debbie and asked that you guys get it before the meeting, so that was Friday. So that's what I know.
Thank you for that. It's kind of a weekly thing, what we're doing right now.
Okay. I had to catch my breath anyway after I came up the stairs. So.
Yeah.
Debbie, just now put it in the mailbox.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you. Must be allergies. Sorry. I'm allergic to my cell phone.
Allergic to the courthouse?
Could be. I'm allergic to judge chairs.
There you go. Yeah.
There must be some dander they give off.
Because if they're in my yard too long, it's hard.
Well, if you play with cats, that's the only time I'd be in trouble.
Are you allergic to cats?
I'll read it off. Just the rest of the commissioners, so on. I am writing on behalf of the members of the Broadwater Hospital District. The county attorney has recommended that we provide a request for the mills to be levied for the Broadwater Hospital District for the 2015-2016 budget year. We hereby request that the commission levy the maximum mills allowed by law for the hospital district 2-34 for fiscal year 15. Plus the mills determined to provide for the $170,000 voter approved levy passed on May 7, 2032. We also ask that if these are additional mills available that can be distributed, we would request that these mills be allotted to the hospital district. Attached is the budget for the hospital district for budget year 2015-2016. Thank you for consideration. We greatly appreciate all that you can do for our county and in particular the great assistance we have offered to the hospital and to our board. Thank you for all you do. Sincerely, Missy Cox, clerk.
So the voted mills were for $14.95, correct?
I don't know that there were mills attached to the levy itself. I think the mill levy was for $170,000 and whatever mills supported that. But I've got a copy of the levy here somewhere.
You two will race.
You're probably faster than I am because I have way too much
that's the way
stuff
it
in
was.
here. Okay. First one is the second one.
The amount.
To that particular amount.
Well, this one says, be authorized to levy $170,000 for approximately 15.55 mils per year for a period of 3 years. That's what the mill levy copy that I have says on it.
All right. So we have the, from the valuations, we have what the hospital district mills are. So all we have to do is a little division. Go ahead and figure that out.
Well, we have a budgetary flat mill thing, and then we're requesting both of those.
Okay.
All right.
Well, this isn't complete on the budget, is it? On this,
Pardon me?
this here, that isn't the budget, right? It's just,
The list of expenses that we anticipate incurring for the next year. The income is dependent on what you choose to levy.
Well, if you take 170,000, which was on the ballot,
Yep.
and you divide it by the taxable value for the hospital district, which is 11,737, you come up with 14.48 mils. So I will move, for starters, that we approve 14.48 mils as the voted mils for attachment A in the budget to be levied on property taxes.
I'll second that motion.
it's been moved and seconded that we accept the voted mill levy for the need to see just the mills. Anyway, all in favor,
Aye.
motion carried.
And then for the second request, I will move that we grant the same number of mills for now to the hospital, pending any further discussion on the budget, which will be coming today at 2 o'clock.
I'll second that motion.
I don't think we can do that until we hear from Corey. He had a lot of questions on some of this. On this one we just voted for, there's no doubt on that, you'll get the,
Specifically, what are you referring to, Franklin?
well, listen, okay, clarify then. What is this second motion you got?
There's two different mills for the hospital. One is a standard mill every single year. It's about just under 2.5 mills. And they are requesting that we grant those same number of mills this year that we have in the
Always
past. Always have. This one is an additional millage
That was voted
that
by
the
the
citizens
people.
voted for. That was the first vote. The second vote is to solidify that we will continue past practice of levying the 2.5-ish mills. Again, same as last year, pending any further information on the budget to come today at 2 o'clock. So what I'm motioning is that we give them the bottom line that we have for many, many years, so that they have that for planning purposes.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's on your budget paperwork, Franklin, that Debbie gave you a couple weeks ago.
It's been moved and seconded. The motion as outlined, all in favor,
I,
motion passed.
Thank you.
I appreciate that.
you're welcome. And then, is there also a budget with the letter there, Franklin?
No,
There's a list of
oh,
expenditures.
okay, here, I'll read it up. County services for annual financial report to the state, $400. Clerical, $1,800. Office supply expenses, $250. Funds written to Broadwater Health Center, anticipated, $200,000. Planned use for VAC funds, roof repair, $56,000. Exterior facade, $53,000. Nursing home, air conditioning roof unit, $9,000. Hot water heater, $11,000. Exterior sidewalk report, $15,000. EMR computer system maintenance, $116,000.
So what we anticipate is that we will have to forward to the hospital about $200,000 that they will apply toward those expenses that they have pending over the next year in terms of maintaining the building. And then some operating expenses having to do with the computer system that they have to operate the hospital.
So,
But this isn't the budget, this is a review of what you.
What the expenditures will be if we're granting the mills, that's what we would spend them on.
and that is budget
Mhm.
by definition. So I will move that we approve the proposed budget from the hospital district board.
I'll second the motion.
It is the budget though.
Yeah, it is,
It just follows.
because they don't know what they're gonna get, but this is the expenses that they know for a fact.
Did you second it, or was there?
I did.
Motion made to accept this, I guess she'll say this is a budget presented by the hospital board. All in favor?
Aye.
No, because I don't think this is a budget, so I'm voting against it.
One more order of business, and this comes from a meeting we had this week and a question that Jan brought up. I'm gonna give you both a list of, these are our, there's one for each of you. These are a list of our CDs that we have for different county investments. It's about 12 million total. We'll be meeting later on today to get an investment board started to help Doug when a CD comes due. He will be able to call his board and put together what is the best package with a number of smart brains, rather than just going at the advice of the bank. But those are a list of our CDs. The hospital district will be working with the THS board to look into an intercap loan to refinance 2 existing loans, the loan with State Bank and another loan, and also to finance some of the repairs that need to be made on the hospital, which is a county building, and that's why the hospital district is involved. What they would like from us, and what I think we should give them so that they have peace of mind moving forward, is not necessarily any money. This proposal takes absolutely none of these CDs out of collecting interest. What it would do, what I'm proposing is, if the intercap loan program, which is a loan for 1.5% as opposed to the 3% with State Bank, if they would like some kind of collateral beyond the hospital, that we could offer them support of the loan through one of these CDs. Already checked with Doug, this is done by other counties, it's totally legal. I have checked it with Corey, it is in his memo that this is something that he supports. This would strictly be peace of mind for the hospital district moving forward, that the county will support this. So basically all I'm asking is, if it's requested of us, can we assure the hospital district board that we would be agreeable to giving them the guarantee of 1 CD? Again, it doesn't take it out, doesn't spend the money, it just puts it as a guarantee. There would just be a note right here that would say, this CD reserved for loan repayment if needed.
That makes sense.
It does. This refinance, Jenny did the numbers just very quickly, but the annual payment would be about $7,600 a year. Right now, on just one loan that they want to refinance at a higher interest rate, it's $7,100. So you can see it's not going to cost the hospital much more than they're paying now. So it's one that's projected to be a very easy repayment. This may just be a request of the Board of Investments, and I'd like to just give them the reassurance that we would support them.
I say we table this until Corey is back,
Well, it's in his memo, Franklin.
because well, there's a lot of stuff in that memo.
Mm-hmm.
So I say we table until Corey is back, gives us his official word on it.
I would like to just interject one thing with that. I don't mind getting Corey to come in and verbally tell us what is in his memo, if that would help clarify things. But I think this commission needs to remember that Corey is not a commissioner. He's
our legal advisor, though.
If you would let me finish, he is indeed our legal advisor, and that's why he put together a memo knowing he'd be gone until early September. We cannot postpone every single decision until Corey can come forward and tell us he agrees with it. He has given us this memo that has ruled or made a number of points that the hospital district is attempting to address. What I'm asking for, and if you want to table it, it's fine, but I'm just trying to give both the hospital district board and THS the assurance that we will support them and the ability to expedite the loan application process with Intercap so that they can get on board doing what they need to do for their operation. And perhaps if you did want to talk to somebody else, Doug would be a person to talk to about that, since he is the clerk and recorder and the one responsible for the CDs. How this came up is question number 4 in the memo, in which Corey questioned, I gave you the email, in which Corey questions the loan to State Bank. That was vetted with legal counsel as well as the county attorney. There is an email that includes the county auditor, so everything was totally legal on that. But what Corey presented is, and I don't think it's quite as detailed in the memo, he does say he wants to look into it more, but what he said is, what we should be doing, instead of the county working with THS and kind of using the district board as an avenue, the district board, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, The hospital district board should be more of a liaison and a lead on which the county supports them in their support of THS. So it was his idea that the state bank loan be refinanced. It's currently at 3% interest for 5 years with a $60,000 a year payment. Through refinancing at 1.5% over a period of 10 or 15 years, that annual payment would be greatly reduced. That would free up cash for the hospital for their operations.
Well, it's tabled until Corey gets back. There's another question, well, there's a bunch of them on here, and his answers that he had, which I'm sure everybody has looked at. So until he clarifies, and we're only talking about until next week.
Franklin, September is in 2 weeks. The other thing is, and again, if you guys want to table this, that's fine with me, but I think we need to be cognizant that, one, putting Corey in a position of fourth commissioner is unfair to him, and two, he's coming back to the ramifications of the last 2 fires, and he's going to have a desk full of criminal action to take care of. Babysitting the commission will have to request that he put on the front burner, but I think that's unfair to him and the citizens of his county.
Well, and he realizes that's his job to keep the legal information for the commissioners. That's, as far as the fire, you don't know anything about him, it's fire. At this point, that's for sure.
In the future, I would request that you read the memo so that you come with a little bit more information.
I have read them, that's why I'm tabling it.
You thought it was the letter from the hospital district board this morning, just 10 minutes ago. My motion stands. I would either request a second or request officially that it died at this point, awaiting to be tabled for 2 weeks.
Can we have Doug come up and tell that this is completely legal?
I would absolutely welcome that.
Good.
Thanks, Ann.
The legal advisor.
No, but Doug works with these all the time.
There's a bunch of questions that Corey has that he hasn't, he said, admits it right there, he hasn't, needs more time to check them out.
No, he doesn't, Franklin.
It says it right in here, if you read it.
I did read it,
Oh,
that's
good.
the problem. One of us did and one of us didn't. On question number 4, he speaks only of the state bank loan, and he would like to look into that more. This proposed action by the hospital district board actually takes care of every issue that Corey has. So it's the only one that he says he still has questions on, and they're stepping forward to say, hey, we're gonna go ahead and address this so it can be done more in an area of best practices. All I'm asking is that we assist the hospital district board in following best practices, Franklin.
And all I ask is that Corey gives us the route to go. That's what we have a county attorney for. Any more comments or anyone for Doug gets here?
I'm gonna reserve my comments till Doug can answer a question.
Go ahead.
I could, if you don't mind. Madam Chairman?
Yeah,
Are you the chair? I'm sorry. We've got some really pressing financial obligations. We work with Corey as well, and his indication was this really is a positive way to resolve the whole mill levy need. We've got a roof that's draining from the top to the bottom, so we need to fix this. And on top of that, we talked with them as well as the Montana Hospital Association. They concurred with Corey's recommendation to finances. So it will really be helpful to move this thing ahead. We've got bids that are we'd like to accept and get this thing going before it gets too late on the roof and other financing. And it really does help us overall a ton, and the sooner the better. I'm sorry, go ahead, Doug.
Ann said you wanted to talk about holding one of our CDs as a collateral for loan for the hospital. And I think we have 2 more coming this week that are $250,000. I'm just going off memory, which is dangerous. I think we have
He's a listener.
7 or 8 of them on there. Yeah, I mean, we have, and this is all money that was 4, 6, 8. Yeah. So we've got 10 of them all at that same amount, 250,000. And it's money that was in the bank that we had to invest somewhere. This is one of our investments, is county money. It's not money that we're holding for any specific purpose. It's an investment that we have, and I don't see why there would be any problem with saying, yeah, we could take one of these and put it as guaranteed for the loan. It doesn't mean we would have to cash it in or anything. It's really just telling the bank we have this much money that we would guarantee that this loan would be defaulted on.
Doug, what about that MCA code where we are not allowed to loan or our credit to a private entity?
No, and this would be, it wouldn't be a loan, it would just be a guarantee that we would cover their loan if something were to happen.
Right, I understand that.
And it's to the
And we
district
have
board.
the right, the commissioners have the right to, transfer funds
And that isn't a private entity.
from, yeah, we have
It's
the
a
right to
government
transfer
entity.
funds from one, county department to another, which,
Exactly.
yeah, I checked with the, treasurer, Lewis and Clark, and asked her if they had ever done anything like this, and she said, oh yeah, she said that money is county funds. You can, she said the commissioners can actually, do a loan at 0% if you wanted to. You know, it's money we have sitting in the D.A. Davidson or Buchanan, and it's not being held for any special purpose, just what we need it to. And if we offer it as collateral for a loan, that's not gonna put you in any kind of
Well, if they default,
danger.
we're still stuck on it.
What's that?
If they default, then we're stuck on it, right?
If they defaulted on the loan, we could cover it with this. Yeah, it's just, and, you know, I don't see that would happen, but, you know, in light of everything that's happened with the mills for the hospital not being put on the 2015 taxes, I think this is just a good way to help them out of a situation that they wouldn't be in if those mills would have been put on the taxes. Not that that's completely our fault. It missed about 4 different sets of hands before it didn't get put on there.
But that's only 170,000, I mean.
Right. But this isn't money, we're not just handing this to them, we're just saying it's like co-signing on a loan for somebody. We're saying that, you know, we'll hold one of these as security that this loan isn't gonna be defaulted on.
Well, you're right, exactly, I realize that. But
So it's not that we're gonna take this and just cash it in and hand it over to them.
Well, we did the other one that, we forgive that 120,000. And this 400,000 one, we've been making the payments.
That's completely different than this, though.
Well, still, all basically the same, if they wouldn't, we're held responsible the same way.
Mr. Chairman, Jan had a comment. Do you still, or was it answered?
No, I just wanted to say that the guarantee is to the hospital district board who would be taking the loan, and that's another governmental entity. And part of the loan that we would be taking and be guaranteeing would wipe out the $400,000 loan, so that's one other one you wouldn't be on the hook for, so to speak.
One of the things that we need to keep in mind is the hospital's a county building. If, as you say, Franklin, THS defaulted, which means that they go out of business, we don't have a hospital anymore, the county is still required for the hospital building, the upkeep of that building, the medical records in that building, that all falls to the county. So us being on the hook for $7,600 a year will be pittance compared to the overall responsibilities that we would find ourselves having to handle at that point. We can look at this in 2 different ways. As one, we expect the hospital to default in the future, which is to fail, and we assist them down that road. Or 2, we realize the importance of the hospital to our economic health, to the future of our community, to the health of our citizens, to the very lives of our citizens, and we do everything we can, even this very small support of the district board, to help them succeed for our citizens and our community. My motion is following the second road, assisting in success of the
Yes.
hospital.
Is the glass half full or half empty?
Yeah,
Is what we're looking at.
absolutely.
And I'll second your
Well, it
motion.
says right here that the district owns the hospital nursing home building in Townsend, Montana, which is leased to THS beginning 1986. Among its provisions is Article 5, which states that leasing Townsend Health Services is responsible for all repairs to the facility.
But if they're not there, Franklin, who's responsible for our building? We are. The county is. The commissioners then have to find a means to fund that.
You know, it must be a question for Corey, or why would he put that in here?
Franklin, this is not a list of just questions for Corey. This is a memo from Corey addressing those questions with his answers. He gives us the tools in this memo to make decisions based on the information he put in here for us. This is not a list of questions. He does not put at the end of this memo, please don't do anything, because this is just a list of questions. What he is doing, what he did was give us a tool so that we could feel comfortable acting within our legal bounds based on this memo. The only one he left an open question on in this memo was the state bank loan, which the hospital district board has graciously stepped forward and offered to actually take away the question by refinancing that loan themselves. So that question, the only question left in this memo, is no longer relevant if this proceeds. All I'm asking in my motion is not to take any money away from any departments, not to do anything with the CD, just to have a vote so that the district board and THS has the reassurance that the county will support this loan.
It's a vote of confidence.
That's all it is. That's all it is.
We can take what Corey wrote either way then, until he gives the final version of it. I see it's tabled.
I called for the question.
I tabled it until Corey gets back.
I also called for the question, Franklin. There was already a motion on the table. I would prefer a vote, and then you
I
can follow
tabled
up
before
when
he
we're
let
back.
come on, till he's back.
Excuse me, sir, I heard a call for the question before you tabled it.
No, I tabled it 10 minutes ago, probably. I don't know how long, well, I can't say 10 minutes, but before all this last discussion come on.
Mr. Chairman, I repeat the request for call for the question based on a vote for, of confidence for District Board and THS.
And I tabled it. For the
Madam
reason that
Vice
we have
Chairman,
information from county attorney.
Madam Vice Chair, can I ask you to go ahead and call for the question?
What does Robert's rules say?
I don't have a clue. I do know, though, that,
It's only, a table, it's only gonna be for another week till Cory gets back. I mean,
No, that's not true. Cory won't be back till in September. Today's only the middle of August.
he's supposed to be back, he's not too, he's supposed to be back.
No,
This
he's
is
not
just-
all of August. Is my understanding.
he's coming back the 1st, yeah, of September. After that, we have Labor Day, and this is not the only thing on his desk. It is unfair to citizens, it is unfair to the district board, it is unfair to THS, and it is unfair to the two commissioners who bothered to do their homework on this, that you are refusing to let us vote to support those entities and our citizens.
That's where it stands, until we have his okay on it. 'Cause like I say, you read that, there's a lot of questions there. So whatever you wanna do, I guess it's,
The call for the question was made before you tabled the vote, per the person who is responsible for taking our minutes. The call for the question was already made, you tabled out of order, and I'm going to request that you give us the chance to vote on this. If not, I'm gonna ask it to go to the vice chairman. And then we can let Cory come in and tell us if we need to re-vote, if that would make you feel better.
Oh. Come in and re-vote?
Mhm. Is anyone an expert on Robert's Rules of Order?
Well, Madam Chair, Barbara Kershey. I've worked with a lot of boards and listened to a lot of motions, and the motion to support the hospital came before Franklin's statement that he wished to table it. So therefore, the primary motion should have been acted on first, and then another motion made. I will get my book if you want me to.
Thank you, Barbara. If we do not get this put to a vote, I am gonna ask that we postpone this meeting until we get a vote, or somebody with the Robert's Rules of Order answer, so that we can either proceed or not.
That's fine with me. That's why I was holding off the table in the first place, was Cory's decision, or his recommendation.
You have that.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
we've been in contact with the financing agency from the state that transfers these funds to government entities to the district, and they saw no problem. They're in line with what Cory's saying. And I appreciate your concern, but they're fully in line with Cory's recommendation to go forward and refinance both the loan as well as some potential dollars that we could use for this, the roof, those sorts of things. And they've been right up front. They'll work with us any way they can, and they are. So they would have stopped this if they saw issues right at the beginning of the discussion. So I would encourage you, let us go forward. We've got lots of work that needs to be done on the facility. working through the district, and the district board's done a nice job in stepping forward and working with us as well.
Go ahead.
Janet O'Brien, Vice Chair of the District Board. The District Board has not made a decision. What we've asked the hospital to do is to gather the information. We intend to meet again. One of my concerns is what would happen if they ask for more collateral, and Laura said that it is common practice for counties to guarantee other counties by using the CDs, and that might be available. I would hope that in terms of looking at default and all of those other things, that the commission would recognize that we take a responsible view of how we protect the taxpayers' money and our own obligations moving forward, and that many of these questions that you are raising in terms of what happens here, what happens there, since we anticipate renegotiating the lease to cover these payments, that we're actually thinking about, and I've been in communication with the CFO over at the hospital about issues that I might have with the lease in terms of making sure that if we came to an end and the hospital decided to move elsewhere, that those payments would be covered and your obligation wouldn't be sitting out there and being used. So I would hope that you would have some confidence that we're doing this in a careful and thoughtful manner, and that we are considering some of the issues to protect the county as well as the taxpayers of the county, and making sure that whatever we enter into is well-based, that we have looked at the long-term viability of making those payments and of covering those things should any of the unforeseen things happen. You don't know me, I'm an actuary, that's what I do for a living. I look at what the risks are for things and what the costs are for those risks, and so that's the way my brain works. It makes people around me crazy. I will say I am one of those people that makes them crazy, and that's fine with me, but I would hope that you have confidence that when we ask you this question that says, you know, would you do this if they asked to do this, that we will be very careful in protecting how we set this up in terms of not only your money, but taxpayer money going forward.
For your information, I spread the same confidence. There 2 years ago, when things were hospital about gone and everything, and people would ask me, and I say, and that was coming from the hospital, that we got 6 months, everything's gonna be good. And so I said, you know, if they can survive these 6 months, it looks like they're gonna make it. Well, I went to a year, and now it's, I don't know, what, 2.5 years, and they're still not making it, so I don't know. But that's what I did. I stood up and said that if they can get by this 6 months, or possibly a year, they're gonna make it, based on what you folks are saying, you know.
Are you saying you don't have any confidence in the hospital, Franklin?
No, well, I mean,
Yeah, you are.
it's lost a lot, because I pushed, like I say, I have full confidence in now. I know it's, when you know yourself, it's still, has to be, otherwise you wouldn't be in this spot where 170 would make you or break you, I guess, I don't know.
I'd just like to address that. At no time have we ever said we were gonna be ready in 6 months. You may have said that, but we never said that. We've said it's gonna take a 3-year process to get out of a $2 million, essentially, obligation that we had in payables and in receivables. And we're beginning into the 3rd year now. We said in the 3rd year we would probably need $1 million additional. Now, what we've been able to do is show and with support from lending institutions, they agree we can pay it back. So I think we're proud of going from $2 million to maybe $500,000 net loss, and we're still on the route. We're not all completed yet, but those dollars, as Corey agreed in his points there, that they're definitely needed, and it gets us in a position where we really can respond to the community need. And again, would urge you to give us that vote of confidence, and we're here to report back to you anytime you like.
And that's why I said, that's all I'm waiting. Same thing as what Corey's recommendation would be. And at this point, we don't have it.
Are you looking for a recommendation as to whether or not it's legal or whether or not is that what you're?
Well, everything, whatever, yeah, both
Because
sides, I
I was
guess.
gonna say, one thing is policy, and I would agree with Laura that, and I'm sorry, probably shouldn't be saying this, but there's policy and that's you guys, there's what's legal for you and that's Corey. And this is just me, cause I do what I do every day. But anyway, I would hope that what you're waiting for is a legal determination and not whether or not it's a good idea, you know?
Yeah, he's our legal advisor.
Yeah, I know, but that's kind of what I'm confused, that's all I'm saying. I'm confused about, you know, what the issue is. Because I would like to try to figure out how to give you the assurance you need, or give you what you need, like you didn't like the budget, how would you like it formatted differently in the future, that sort of thing. But I can't do that unless I understand what it is you're asking us to do, so that's all I would say.
Legally, we could, if the commission wanted, cash one of these bonds and put it towards the building of the hospital. That's your legal right.
But we don't have
But
to
we're
cash
not
it.
being asked to do that. We're being asked to put it up as a guarantee for $170,000 that should have been milled, that wasn't. No matter whose fault that is, the hospital should have had another $170,000 in their budget that they were counting on. If that would have been milled, we probably wouldn't be here today, but it wasn't.
Yeah, right.
We're not being asked to pay it back, we're being asked to guarantee that they're gonna pay it back.
I have
So
no
we're
problem with that.
we're trying to correct something that was not done that should have been. And part of it could be the hospital's fault, part of it's my fault, part of it is our finance officer's fault. It falls on a lot of different hands. We're not being asked to just give this money back, we're just being asked that one of these bonds would be offered as a collateral. That doesn't mean it's ever gonna be used, it just means it's there if disaster strikes and it needs to be used. That's all it's for. There's no legal question
I guess
about whether we can do this.
the other question I have, is the hospital in that bad a shape that it has to have this $170,000 to stay afloat right now? I mean, it can't go within a week or two, something to that effect?
Franklin, I think you're confused. We're not talking about the 170,000. That's what brought us together. But this loan request, and again, you have it in your paperwork, your written word, this request that we support this loan has nothing to do with the 170,000. Again, that is simply a catalyst that brought us together. What the hospital would like to do with the hospital district board is refinance two loans at a higher interest rate and a shorter payback period, and at a lower interest rate, thank you very much, at a lower interest rate than the higher interest rate they're now paying, and get the money to repair the roof of the hospital and other items needed just in the building, just repairs to the building. This is not the 170. Now, I have a letter here from the Board of Investments, and the question is, can the hospital district get an intercap loan? Now, I will say, this wasn't said before, but the intercap loan idea was Corey's. So that was the second catalyst that's brought us together here, is Corey suggesting the intercap loan. The answer is yes, intercap can refinance and must have first lien on the equipment. Intercap may also exercise the statutory opinion or option to place first lien on the facility if necessary, and this is also where having a secondary support, if they request it, is where we're giving our support. That's it. We don't even know that they'll request it, but so that they can expedite moving forward to fix that roof, we are offering just our support. That's it. No money, Franklin. It's just a vote of confidence. And it's just assigning one CD to pay back $7,600 a year, roughly. That's all we're looking at doing.
Well, if then with the intercap loan, sounds like they can go ahead and get that. There's nothing saying there yet that we have to assure is what you just said. So I'd say go ahead with that intercap loan then.
All we're asking you to do is if they ask for the other thing, would you give us the support? We don't know that they're going to ask it, but if it comes to there and we're in negotiations,
So we've got some time then, we've got, until you find out for sure on that, and Cory,
well,
by then.
we're in negotiations and we need to give them an answer right away. And so it kind of puts us in a, excuse me, I have to leave the table now, wait till the commission meets next, where we may not need it, but if we need it, it would be nice to know it's available to us kind of thing.
For them to respond instantly with a yes, we have the full support of the commission, would hold a lot of weight in getting this loan so that they can refinance and do the structural fixes to that building. For them to have to leave the table, like Jan said, hits their credibility, hits our credibility as a community and a commission as well, and makes us look like Keystone cops, the three of us. All we are asking with this vote, all I'm proposing is that this be a support. I'm not asking for any money for the hospital, and I don't know what else to say.
Well, give
We've
us
got all
support to
the
go ahead
evidence in
and
front
get
of
their
you.
intercap loan. That's the first thing they've gotta do.
Ann, would you do me a favor? Would you go next door and get the number for Harold Blatty at Mako, and Brian is the second, Brian Hopkins? Wendy or Brooke, can you Google that for us? I can bring my other phone. I'm gonna go get the phone, get Harold on the phone. If
Do you have a Mako book?
not with me.
Do you have a
resent,
Mako book here?
I resent very much that this vote is being held up by the chairman, who, despite you and I both calling for the question multiple times, refuses to bring it forward. We're gonna waste a lot of people's time, waste a lot of money, but I think we need to get this figured out. And the fact that you're not hearing and not accepting any information given to you, including Cory's memo, is offensive.
That's what I've been referring to
I'll
all
be
the
right back.
time.
I'm gonna go get the phone.
You're welcome, I'll get it turned to plug in.
Okay.
There we go. There it goes.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. I think we need a new phone.
Thanks, Ann. Oops. Val just said, I think we need a new phone.
You think?
I think she might be right. Okay. Hi Sharon, this is Laura Obert from Broadwater County. Hello. Hey, I'm wondering if Harold Blatty is in, if we could talk to him. Oh, is Brian Hopkins available? Okay, thank you. Harold's on vacation.
The nerve of him, huh?
Well, we're in the middle of a commission meeting and we're having a little to-do here. And we need some advice on Robert's Rules of Order. Is there perfect, thank you. Good morning, Cheryl. Hey, I'm at a commission meeting with my fellows and members of the public, and I wonder if I can put you on speakerphone and then ask you a question about Robert's Rules of Order. Thank you. Hey, Cheryl, are you still there?
I'm still here.
Oh, good, thank you. We have a agenda item, and we have a motion and a second, a couple of each, but the same motion, the same second. We just kept repeating them. And now we have from the chairman, he wants to table it after the motion and the second to the motion.
And the call.
And the call for the question. And he refuses to give us the ability to vote. Per Robert's Rules of Order, what is the correct procedure here?
All right, I'm actually looking in my Robert's book.
You might ask her other counties' agendas. Yeah, but she's aware, and undoubtedly she will.
Yeah, I'll let you pose that question. I gave you this.
Let's
not
not
waste
waste time.
We have it from Doug, from Paulette, so we know Lucy Clark has.
Can I put you on hold just a quick moment?
You bet. Thanks, Cheryl.
Okay, still there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm having sales go get Brian Hopkins, our general counsel, to assist me with this.
Okay.
Looking through Robert's, I'm finding what I'm looking for.
We have someone here with our district board who has a lot of experience on boards, statewide and locally. And she said that the first motion made is the one that stands. Had it been tabled prior to the motion, that would be one thing, but since there was the motion made first, that needs to be addressed prior to tabling.
That's my understanding, but I want confirmation here, so I'm trying to find either my attorney or where it states that in Robert's. Now, in my dealings at the Capitol, that's how it's handled, is once the main motion's dealt with, then you can do a move to table.
Would you have to have a vote at that point, if the motion's been made?
I believe so, it's a non-debatable motion, so there's no discussion, but a vote has to be taken. It's just
Hi Cheryl, this is Elaine.
anything.
Question for you.
Uh-huh.
We have investments, of course. Can the hospital district use one of those bonds to just kind of give a vote of confidence for an intercap loan?
Okay, Brian Hopkins, our chief counsel, just walked in. Let me put you on hold a moment briefing.
It would be the county setting a CD aside, not setting it aside, but just labeling it as a guarantee for the hospital district.
I'm just looking at the numbers here, we've got almost 7 million in investments. We're asking for 250,000 just as a collateral, that's about 3% on a mistake that you made.
Okay, are you all still there?
Yes.
We are.
Okay, I I have Brian Hopkins, our general counsel here. So let's go to the first question, which was you have a motion and a second that has not been voted on, but a motion to table has been offered. Do you have to act on the first motion before you can address the second? Brian's answer is? Yes.
It wasn't a motion to table, it was a demand to table. That was just clarified for us.
Well, maybe that person is gonna vote against the motion, but you've got a motion on the table, so go ahead and vote on it. Actually, if you wanna, you know, my experience with Robert's rules is when you have a three-person commission, you don't even need a second because that pretty much says how the vote's gonna go. So you make a motion and vote on it. But you've got a motion and a second, so continue the discussion. If the discussion is it should be tabled, well then maybe two people vote against the motion and the motion's down, and then you can vote on a motion to table it secondly.
And note that for law, if requested, the clerk and recorder needs to identify the votes by name in the minutes. So you can deal with the first motion first, then a motion to table can be made, that's a non-debatable motion, which can then be voted on. There's no discussion, but it's voted on, and then it's voted yea or nay. Does that clear the first question up?
Yes, it
Yes.
does, thank
Okay.
you.
So Elaine, can you re-ask that second question while Brian's here?
Okay. The hospital's gonna get an intercap loan. Right?
District.
The hospital district is going to get an intercap loan. And they want us to co-sign offering,
No, not cosign. What the hospital district wants to refinance a couple of loans into an intercap loan. This was Corey's idea. What they have asked us to do, Corey has asked that we not use PILT because it's just messy and it's not good PR-wise. So in speaking to him, I asked him about the CDs, the investment CDs we have. He said, yes, you could use those. We have, you know, a good number of those. So the idea was if Intercap asks the counties to support the loan, can we just label one of those CDs as loan repayment, guarantee that particular loan to the district board should it be needed from those CDs. At this point, we're not looking to spend it, we're not looking to cash it out, we're just looking to label one as a guarantee of a hospital district loan. And we did have Doug, our clerk and recorder, check with Paulette in Lewis and Clark County, and she's the one who gave us direction on this, that we could proceed.
Well, I'm not gonna give you no researched opinion. That'd just be shooting from the hip, and I know Corey and I and you, Laura, this is Laura, right?
Yes, hi Brian.
We talked about it a few weeks ago, but I really, to be honest with you, I haven't thought about it since we talked about it a couple weeks ago, and I just can't give you a reasoned opinion just off the cuff.
And I don't know enough about it to give you an answer.
Brian and Cheryl, it's Franklin. Only thing
Franklin.
I'm asking to table it, just like you said, Corey isn't here to give us his recommendation, and so I just feel that we should table it until he gets back. That's,
Well, there would be a motion to table, be a motion to postpone. I mean, you could certainly postpone the deliberation to another meeting when your attorney is present. That wouldn't be a table, because if you table it, it's pretty much a dead issue. You would do a motion to postpone until a later date when your attorney's present.
okay, well, I guess that's what would be to postpone until the attorney gets
Yeah,
here.
yeah, it's all in the verbiage. It'd be a motion to postpone, not table.
but don't we have to act on that first motion?
Yes.
Is a postponed motion the same as a tabled motion? It's voted on without discussion, or can you discuss that?
A table motion is non-debatable, there's no discussion. A postpone means you don't have enough information to make a decision at the time, and you're gonna postpone it to a later date certain. You can pick that date, and then you can rediscuss it when your attorney's back and make your decisions then. So if your initial motion was on this issue, you could withdraw that motion and then do the motion to postpone until a later date.
if you make a, if you withdraw that motion, you have to have a concurrence of the person that seconded it.
Right.
Cheryl makes a good point, because if you table a motion, you have to bring it up at the next commission meeting. You may not be prepared to bring it up at the next commission meeting, because the next commission meeting may be before Corey's back or has had a chance to review it and give you some appropriate advice on it. Which is why I think a postponed motion probably makes more sense.
Yeah.
Okay,
So if the initial motion was a motion to make a decision on this, whoever made the motion can withdraw that, whoever seconded concur with the withdrawing. Then you make a motion to postpone the date certain, till, when you're sure Corey can be there. You pass that motion, and that means on that date, it's on that agenda to bring back for discussion and decision at that point. And that covers your public notice, and it gives you the time to get your attorney back to get the information you need to proceed and make an informed decision.
okay, thank you. I don't have any more questions.
Okay,
Thank you, guys.
thank you.
Thank you, both of you.
Oh, you're
No
welcome.
problem.
Bye-bye.
Bye. One of the things I do want to comment on is we have a email with responses from Intercap on this. We have a 6-page memo with MCA from Corey. My copy's highlighted and scribbled on because I've read it a number of times. Because I work in the courthouse, Corey is able to pop into my office at least once a day, well, maybe 3 times a week, or call me up to his office so that we can have a conference call with Harold and Brian. I don't mind doing that footwork, but to come to the meeting and provide all this documentation, to email the documentation before meetings, there's got to be a certain amount of trust there. And Corey won't be here for at least 2 weeks. To wait for him to return is a disservice to the citizens, and frankly, it's a disservice to me because I have done the homework. I've presented it to you, so has Corey. I'm going to reiterate my motion if that's even necessary. That needs to be voted on first. I am going to request that we vote to approve just the support, and that we also trust that Doug did the appropriate research on the CDs, and that Paulette gave him appropriate answers on the CDs. Doug and I have both done research on this. So I guess that's all I have to say on that.
One comment, there's already a motion on the floor, so you can't do that.
So I can't reiterate my motion?
No.
All right,
You can state it, but you can't.
all right. I will
There's a
again,
motion.
though, ask for the question on that motion. How's that? It's clear that there will just be some that do not care to address the issue, and to ask Corey to consistently come in here and give an okay for us to cast policy votes is also a disservice to the citizens, and to our staff that are spending extra time, and to the public that are taking time off of work. So Franklin, the first motion has been seconded. I would request that you call for the question.
Okay, all in favor of the initial motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No.
And according to Cheryl, it has to be identified who voted which way.
And Franklin, did you want to call your motion to table to vote?
Okay, I will. I'll make a motion that we postpone this until,
No, you said table first. You have to call that one first, and then you can do the
I
postpone.
withdraw the one on tabling, and I want to postpone this until Corey is back to give us his legal advice. You want a second?
Mhm.
Okay, I, for lack of a second.
also say I'm extremely disappointed because this was such a no-brainer, that it was
If you read
great.
that over, no-brainer to
If
you
you would please
probably.
let me finish, and then you may make your statement if you choose. This is a no-brainer to support our community, our economy, the lives of our citizens who may need the emergency room. This was a great opportunity for this commission to come together on behalf of our citizens, and it saddens me that we couldn't do that. So thank you all for coming.
Okay, with that, I guess Nicole, you're on. Running behind.
Thanks, Doug.
Thank you, Doug. Thank you. I appreciate your strength.
Hey, how are you? How are you doing?
Yeah.
So first item up, Roach's minor, I believe, Roach's Pivot minor subdivision request for final plat approval. So I have the final plat here. I'm just gonna pass around the items that were listed as conditions of approval. I have all of the documentation here. Oh, I really cleared out a room, didn't I?
Would you refresh your skin this one now?
Mhm,
Where's
yes, I
that?
sure will. This is Lambots Field here and here. This is Hunter's Trail. This is Sand Hill Lane here going north and south. Hunter's Trail was a Delger, it's a county road easement. It
Oh.
was named Delger Road, but because the canal lies right here
Mhm.
and then Highway 284, Delger Road really would have a difficult time intersecting with this. So this is where we renamed that Delger Road easement Hunter's Trail for addressing purposes. We had to start from Sand Hill and work this way. So. Item number 1 and 2. Plans for sewage treatment and water supply shall be submitted to the Montana Department of Environmental Quality for review and approval. That's item number 1, and you have DEQ approval here. Number 2, a stormwater drainage plan meeting the requirements of the county subdivision regulations shall be submitted to the county planning department for review and recommendation. The stormwater drainage plan is also included in DEQ.
Yeah, this all been approved.
Sure has. And I apologize, this is a one-lot minor. I don't think I made that very clear just now. It was a one-lot minor subdivision that had an agricultural tract in place because it was created as a pivot corner when this pivot was created. So that's why Ms. Roach is going through the subdivision process. Just to lift that agricultural exemption.
And Bravo Reserve Canal is over in here.
Yep, that's correct. Yep, Kirksey's are right in here, and then the canal, get my bearings, is about right here. Just a little past her property there.
The canal below Kirksey's, isn't it?
It's what?
Isn't the canal below Kirksey's?
Maybe it is.
It is.
Maybe it's on the other
Yeah,
side.
it's, yeah, okay. But it really doesn't make any difference on this.
Yeah, no, her property isn't going to impact the canal in any way. Item number 3, prior to any development, a driveway approach permit shall be requested from the Broadwater County Road Department. And here you have a signed and approved driveway approach permit. This item will also come back up as number 7. So take a good look at it.
Now, is this off the Hunter's Trail, or is it, this would be off the, oh, that's right, because I
They're
already got,
coming off of Hunter's Trail. There was an issue, or some discussion, I guess I shouldn't say issue, with the construction of this road to Miss Roach's lot here. Instead of building this road, which is what she would have had to do from this cul-de-sac where Hunter's Trail is constructed to her parcel, she's breaking off and coming up north here on this easement. So her driveway is actually starting right here at this northwestern corner of the cul-de-sac and branching off in this easement area here. There's a 30-foot easement right here that's outside of the roadway. And so this is where her driveway is
If you see
branching
the
off.
permits off of Hunter's Trail,
Yep, right,
because this
right
over
in-
here is already, that approach is already there off the highway.
Correct, off of Sand Hill.
We're saying, oh, I thought we,
The highway is on this side, it's about here.
oh,
After
okay, I guess that's okay.
Meadows subdivision, but Sand Hill is right here. And then this Hunter's Trail comes off of Sand Hill, but yeah, the approach is already done for here, so her driveway approach is for this northwestern corner off of the cul-de-sac, branching off onto her property. So her driveway will be from here to here essentially. Until at some point in time, if Hunter's Trail is constructed, if the county ever constructs it, or if a large development comes in that is required to construct this road, then she can move her driveway off of there. She would just have to work with the county road department as far as making sure that her culvert is the right size and siding is okay. Number 4, coming around, prior to any development and or soil disturbance, a weed management plan for the proposed development shall be submitted to the county weed district for review and approval. So we have a signed and approved county weed management plan. And number 5, plans for the location and installation of individual mailboxes shall be reviewed and approved by the U.S. Postal Service prior to installation. So here you have a letter from the U.S. Postal Service. Number 6 is a copy of an email. Number 6 states the applicant will be required to submit the final plat drawings in electronic format to Broadwater County in ArcGIS, AutoCAD, or MicroStation format. Additional materials may be requested by the county in electronic format to facilitate review of application materials. So this is just a copy of an email that the DMS survey had sent to my office, so I do have those files in my computer.
Actually, this is just letting us know that you have the file.
Yeah, I don't generally pass something around, but Bernadette so nicely printed this off, I thought that it should be included. Generally, I just tell you, yes, I have it, take my word for it. She's much more thorough. So number 7 is again that driveway approach permit that I told you to keep in your brain there. Number 7, prior to filing the final plat, the applicant shall do one of the following. A, construct driveway to tract 4 within easement recorded in Book 100, page 688. Or B, construct road to tract 4 from the existing cul-de-sac within Hunter's Trail right-of-way to Broadwater County road standards. Final plans for the improvements to the county road will be submitted to the county road department for approval prior to construction. So Ms. Roach chose option A, to construct her driveway to this tract within this easement, which is a recorded easement, recorded in Book 100, page 60. So that was the option she chose. Number 8. The applicant and the Fire Protection Authority having jurisdiction shall use their best efforts to draft a fire protection plan specifically for this subdivision in accordance with the Broadwater County subdivision regulations. The plan shall be equally acceptable to the FPHJ, the applicant, and the county governing authority. The plan shall adequately address the fire risk analysis, all findings of fact, and appropriate mitigation measures. In the event the parties are unable to come to agreement by the final plat submittal, the applicant shall become eligible to provide the per lot cash in lieu fee for water supply as may be defined in Broadwater County subdivision regulations in effect at the time of submittal. So what you have here is a letter from Fire Chief Ed Schindel stating that they will be satisfied with the $1,000 per lot fee. So I attached the check to that as well, so you can see what that's going to be. Number 9 is the plat here. The final plat shall be prepared in accordance with applicable state survey requirements, Montana subdivision plating act survey requirements, and county subdivision regulations. And this has been signed by our examining land surveyor, Don Schaubert. It will be signed by Ms. Roach. I don't think she's signed it yet. She'll make sure and sign it before it's recorded. Number 10. The book and page reference to the restrictive covenants filed with the county clerk and recorder shall be indicated on the face of the final plat. In addition, restrictive covenants, revocable or alterable only with the consent of the Board of County Commissioners, shall be placed upon the property and shall provide for the following. A, notification of the potential health risk from radon concentrations and that such risk can be evaluated through soil tests and mitigated through radon abatement techniques incorporated into structures. B, a notification that all dwelling units within the subdivision should be constructed to specifications which meet or exceed equivalent provisions in the applicable state building code for this seismic zone, which is zone 3. C, any additional replacement or relocated utility lines shall be installed underground in accordance with county subdivision regulations unless otherwise determined by the utility provider. D, any exterior lighting shall be directed downward to minimize visibility beyond the property lines. E, a waiver of the right to protest to join a special district for the purpose of providing community water and or wastewater treatment system improvements and or maintenance. F, a restrictive covenant binding the landowner, any heirs, successors, and assigns, and all future owners of property within the subdivision, agreeing therein to hold Broadwater County harmless and indemnify Broadwater County from all claims, demands, obligations, suits, causes of action, damages, and liability, including the county's costs and attorney's fees, arising in any manner whatsoever out of or relating to the existence, use, operation, repair, and or maintenance of the following. Subitem 1, earthquake, fault zone, and seismic activity, and subitem 2, water availability. G, all cats and dogs must be restrained, penned, or otherwise under the control of their owner at all times. H, notification of the presence of ag operations in the vicinity. I, each lot shall be maintained in a clean, attractive, and weed-free manner. J, a waiver of right to protest joining a rural improvement or maintenance district for the purpose of road maintenance, access road use, mosquito control, or equitably funding parks and maintenance of parks. K, address numbers shall be clearly marked at the driveway entrance to each lot and be easily identified from the road. And L, a notification that lots in the subdivision may be subject to impact fees if in place prior to lot sales.
Hey, Nicole, access wasn't in this one, under J, purpose of road maintenance, mosquito control, and equitably funding parks and maintenance.
Oh, okay.
Is that necessary as it's a pivot?
Yes, and actually, we can fix that still today. I can just
I can have
email it back to you and, or, just the language, yeah. Thank you for catching that.
Yeah.
I read through these, but sometimes
I understand.
it becomes redundant, so no, thank you for catching that.
And
the
that
reason
was
for the-
added because of
Mhm.
the access, and I cut and paste from the last one. so.
She was being very efficient. And actually, the reason for that access road use, that was brought up by Corey, that if, for some reason, this Hunter's Trail is constructed all the way out to her property, and we as the county would prefer her to access here and not have a driveway parallel to a county road, because her parallel driveway would be on private property, on Leonard's property, and then the county road there, that could cause, some hazards, I suppose, in the future. And so that's why that was added specifically for that reason, that if indeed this road is ever constructed and it seems that her private driveway is hazardous here, there'll be no protesting the access road use, the location of it, so.
Okay,
A small little thing, but it could make a big difference in the future.
sure.
So right there is Leonard's.
Mm-hmm.
Now, where does the other pivot sit?
It's basically, this is a subdivision to here, and it's a little bit larger than a pivot corner, because it's not shaped, it's not in the same shape, it's more of a rectangle shape. And so this other pivot sits kind of in here, as far as I'm aware of. See if I have a picture of it to show you.
Yeah, it comes below curb sheet.
Yeah, and so it's a little skewed, it's not lined up exactly with this. Am I making any sense?
Right.
It's not exactly.
And where does the canal run?
Oh, there you go. Thank you. Does it show the canal on there? Right in here, it appears. The canal, is that right?
Mhm. Okay. Thanks, Bernie.
So that was prior to filing the final plat, following improvements shall be installed or otherwise guaranteed. Roads, utilities was item B, and so that's just a letter from Tim Milanaki with Vigilante Electric that they will provide electrical service to this parcel. 12A, prior to filing the final plat, the applicant shall provide proof that all taxes and special assessments assessed and levied on the property are paid for the current tax year, including any past delinquent